And we are back with another episode of the Wrasslin Roundtable podcast, coming hot off the heels of the first ever two-night WWE SummerSlam. And Dominique LaRue, myself, Ryan Hall, we got thoughts. Let me tell you, we got thoughts. It was a kind of an uneven event. And let's just dive right into it. Dom, let's not bury the lead here. Cody Rhodes is the new champion, and I feel like that was kind of flat because there was no real kind of turn in his character. But we get the Beast coming back. We get Brock Lesnar, which if you recall, I have been talking about for months coming back. So, let's dive right in. I've talked too much. Just dive right in.
Um, you know, to piggyback off of your points for the main event, the positive for the main event was it was way beyond better the WrestleMania's main event between them two. Um, like Cody can't say John can't wrestle after what we saw him pull out his bag. Um, obviously they was gonna pull out all the stops for a street fight. But like you said, it still felt flat in a storyline aspect because now mind you, only because everybody and their mama was probably expecting something big to happen, like you know somebody come help Cody win the belt,
Hmm.
or a mysterious guest, which we did get a mysterious guest, but after the match. But as I looked at the match and I analyzed it, Cody was pulling out all the stops. Cody wasn't the babyface like he was before. He definitely took a turn for kinda being a heel a little bit in certain aspects of it, like, pulling the bottom rope and using that as a weapon and just his relent on John with certain weapons. It was like, okay, like, he is really like, you are fighting your childhood hero, but you're really like, "I can't stand this guy." Yeah, I'm the new guy. I'm the new John Cena, like that. But for all in all, for this to be the first ever two-night event is one of the biggest PLEs, and both nights kind of eh, like obviously it was shockwaves last night, but only because all the roofs of the century, blah blah blah. Like, come on, man. I mean, anybody could have saw. Ray Charles could have saw that coming.
Yeah, Ray Charles could have seen that, and he's been dead for 20 years.
I mean, if anybody they didn't see that coming, I understand you probably wasn't analyzing it like we were, but we've said this on this episode. We said this on this pod weeks ago, or like even last week. We was like, if Seth is hurt, we was like, okay, that's good that they needed, take him off the card, this, that, and third. We are definitely worried about the performer rather than the product.
Right.
But as you analyzed it and seen, like, okay, it's his knee. Yes, Seth got problems with his knees. He's got a long laundry list of injuries. But when it comes to Seth, every injury that he's had, they've told us the duration of the injury, the extent of the injury, and the length of what time he possibly could make it back.
And what he actually injured in his knee. They
Yeah.
gave us specifics of it instead of he's going to be out for several months or whatever the hell it was.
But most time they, it could be ankle, it could be a knee, it could be something. He put something. It did. Like, okay, well, he'll be back at SummerSlam. Like, and then
Yeah.
the real was on the wall when CM Punk won that gauntlet match. When Punk won that gauntlet match, my mind instantly thought, Seth Rollins is going to screw him out of that title.
Man.
The man said in a promo, he said, as long as there's air in my lungs, you will never hold a championship in this company. CM Punk won that championship, held that championship for 5 minutes. Seth came out, screw that. All up.
Yeah. And we both made the call. Honestly, we've been making the call ever since obviously the angle went down at Saturday night's main event a few weeks ago. Here's my question. Why did CM Punk just stand there in that ring like a deer like a deer in headlights?
I can probably possibly like okay.
Where's the logic in that?
There is no logic, but I mean
Damn right there's no logic.
this man was in a grueling match. That match was longer than I expected. And then
Yeah.
to put on the match that he did with Gunther, which was in my opinion, it was I wouldn't go over the top say 5 star, but it was definitely a solid 4 to maybe 4.5 because the technical the technicalness of it. CM Punk ain't the flashiest, he ain't the fastest, he ain't the most athletic guy, but it was definitely a ground and pound match between them two.
And it worked and it played right into Gunther's strengths.
And they play right in the go to yes, yes. And it like how many times like recently, all right, with Jay and Goldberg and like I love Jay to death, but how many super kicks we're gonna get, how many spears we're gonna get, how many like the same thing over and over and over. But with CM Punk, yes, we was getting the chops. Yes, we was getting some of CM Punk's classic hits, but it was definitely one of those ground and pound, old school slobber knockers in respect of JR.
Yeah. Yeah. And like it worked really well for for the feud.
And CM Punk, did you see the blood? Like from them chops, it was blood dripping like right on his arm, like his chest area, right in there.
Yeah.
That wasn't from Gunther when he busted his nose. It was been bleeding before that.
No, they were, that was a legit, I mean, they were beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah,
And,
slapping the sweat off his chest.
exactly, exactly. Now we know that Gunther's going to be having surgery on his nose. So he's going to be on the shelf for a little bit. So obviously you had to get the belt off of him. But do you think that blood moment, just as awesome as it was when he emerged from behind the busted announcer table with blood dripping on his face, do you think that was earned? I don't.
Like I pointed out to you guys on the group yesterday, but like when he fell, it looked like he fell on the side. He didn't fall like face down.
Right.
I didn't go back and review it, but I mean my eyes are pretty good, and it looked like he fell like side road, and then gave the whole, the whole feeling.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the blood was not coming from his nose, which I think is what they were trying to sell.
Yes, yes, but it was definitely needed for that match because that match was, like I said, ground and pound. Like it was definitely old school, like slobber knocker.
Yeah. No, totally.
And it
Totally.
had more drama. And kudos to Michael Cole and Wade for like pointing it out, like, oh, he got this first time Gunther's been bleeding, and like, he got blood in his eyes, and he don't know how to, react, and he's trying to figure it out, like, basically like a deer in the headlights, like you scared and you just trying to figure out what to do and grasping for straws and this and that. So that was definitely well executed, as far as like, as a storyteller, trying to tell the viewers at home, like, why is he doing all that? He's Gunther, blah, blah, blah. But, Gunther has never led like that before. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't need. He's made people bleed, but I can't remember him actually
Big
showing up like that.
deal, by the way.
Oh
But
God. Yeah. Um. All right. So let's just kind of dive in right here because we've we've both watched the event, and I would love to know Saturday night and Sunday night what your match of the night is from those nights.
Um,
Let's start with the Saturday night.
well, my match of the night, outside of the main event, of course,
Sure.
but just off storytelling alone and just overall hypeness, I guess. It has to be the opening, the tag team match
Yeah, the
between,
tag team. Yep.
yeah, because we got the Bloodline versus they still don't know their names. They probably don't even have a group name. They just be associated with Seth Rollins. But to have the future versus the present, to have Scott Steiner's nephew, and basically, as my brother across me right now, you've pointed this out numerous times, to have a new age Vader in one corner versus the top faces of the industry. I that was a good deal. That was a great match.
It it was. It told. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It told a great story. It was cohesive, and the moment and in it, the moment they kind of set up the finish, I think is probably even part of the go home. But the moment that set up the finish, when Braun Breaker went for the spear on Jay, Roman Reigns pulls him out of the way, takes the spear himself, kind of takes the bullet for his cousin.
That was like a I'm sorry moment.
That was
Because
a
Roman
that
never
was a
said I was sorry to Jay.
that was a powerful moment.
Yeah. Like as long as we've seen them two go at it, like just from the build up from him being the head of the table and Jay, being the right hand man and being manipulated and this, that, and the third, and leaving the bloodline and like coming back and they fighting at war games. Roman said yeet, but he never acknowledged his cousin. He's never had said like I am sorry for what I've done to you. So with him basically sacrificing himself for his cousin, that spoke a lot of volumes.
Yeah, it really did. It was almost like yeah. I mean, it was almost like an apology, and
Without saying it.
well, without saying it. Yeah,
And then
without yeah,
he
without
raised his
losing face either.
yeah, and then he raised his hand after the match.
Yeah, yeah.
But highlight of that match, besides the in besides Breaker and Reed doing that move, um, shout out to the Steiner brothers, but the yeet in the middle of the match. This is it's funny. I'm not gonna lie, it's funny because it's like they ain't finna just do what I think they finna do, and the match just started like, and then they get Roman in it, and Roman doing like that. It's like, oh man, come on, y'all showing out.
Yeah, I definitely think the kind of the I don't want to say the softer side of Roman, but just kind of the more human side of Roman is a really good place for his character right now because he was that kind of cold, calculating kind of mob boss kind of character for so long. And then to, see a little bit of humanity come out, see a little bit of, now, again, I don't want to say softness because he'll still, whip your ass, I, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like you see a little bit more of his humanity come out, a little bit more the love that he has for Jay, a little bit more the love that he has for his family instead of just being the manipulator that he was for so long.
Absolutely. And it's like it's crazy because like we say that about Roman, and then you can also say that about Charlotte. Like, you know, if they would have just brought
a good
Charlotte
point.
back now, like the Charlotte now when she came back versus trying to make her, I don't know, a heel or whatever the case may be, when that wasn't the case. Like we wanted Charlotte back. Like we was looking forward
Right.
to her being back. We wasn't looking for this you know Tiffany 2.0 or whatever the case you want to call her, with the diamonds and the yacht and this, that, and third and blah blah blah. Like we know she's the queen. Like her resume speaks for itself. We don't need all that. We just need Ashley now.
Yes. Yes. And to think about it, you're not gonna re-debut Charlotte Flair, an all-time great. Put
No,
all the money that they put into with the promo packages on the yacht. That was not a babyface move. That was a prime heel Ric Flair move.
absolutely.
And and Charlotte was surprised that she got booed. No, she kind of deserved to get booed after that because they set her up to fail.
I think
Yeah.
part of I mean, I believe Charlotte felt the same. Like, she probably was like, I don't know how the crowd would take this, but you know, to get the amount of boos that she did get, I mean, it was well deserved. Like,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
been gone for so long because of your knee injury, obviously, and then like to come back the way you came back, and you got all this stuff happening outside of the ring. It just didn't make sense.
Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of Charlotte, do you think that she and Alexa Bliss, first of all, do you think they can coexist? Second of all, do you think that they finally start to break down the Judgment Day after, Rhea and Roxanne lose the titles?
If they would have took the IC title off of Dom, I would have told you yes. But by Dom retaining, it's still gonna be another slow build to whenever we have that happen. I don't know, war games or whatever the case may be. Um,
Because haven't we
uh,
been saying this for months? How they need to break up Judgment Day?
straight up, just to be honest, it's overdue at this point. But hey, that's their call. You know, we're still gonna watch it. It's still gonna be enjoyable. It would have been way more enjoyable if they would have kept Carlito, but you know, by them losing those titles, who took the fall? Was it Rick Roxanne? Roxanne lost the titles.
Yeah, I think it was Roxanne that took the
I think
pin.
Roxanne took the pin, so they're
Yeah.
gonna if they point that out, then that'd be big. And then 'cause they got the tag titles on Finn and JD, and now Dom has the IC title, so it's going to be Dom screwing them out of the tag team titles, and then Finn screwing him out of the IC title, or vice versa. But
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
an idea, but like now with Brock coming back, and we got Seth with the title now, so it's like I don't know what could be in store for us for Survivor Series, but obviously it's gonna be a 5-on-5. So I don't know what the 5-on-5 going to be,
Yeah.
but I definitely see it being Seth and his Goonies with two more people and CM Punk, Roman, possibly Jay, and two other people. So,
Yeah, I can buy that. I
but
can buy
I
that.
really want, and this is me calling it. I know it's a far-fetched dilemma, but I see solos, like me personally, I see solo MFT being more interesting with Jacob, Big Jim, Jay, Roman, and maybe one more, Tama Tucker. And then, they find their fifth guy. But that is more interesting is storyline wise because it still gets you back into the bloodline situation. And then to, help the rock out. to redeem him
Who?
from the
The
mess he
who?
caused past year. It brings him into it, and now we got something leading to WrestleMania. Now we got, who is the real top dog, the head of the table, the chief. Like you got tribal chief, you got high chief. Like who is the real person that really runs that family? Sure, The Rock has acknowledged the tribal chief, but we all know that, you know, outside of that whole little thing, The Rock is the chief.
Yeah, I
So
mean, for the longest time, I always said that while Roman Reigns was like Darth Vader, The Rock was like the Emperor.
yeah, absolutely.
Because he was still the one pulling the strings, not
Yeah, he's
not Vader, but he's the one still pulling the strings.
yeah, he's a perfect match.
No, absolutely a puppet master. Um,
Like, I'm
uh,
the real one that brings the money to the team. Like I do Hollywood. I am on the board of TKO, this, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah, exactly. All right, so what do you think about that women's match between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill? I personally am a little confused as to why they had Tiffany go over because I feel like, first of all, I feel like Jade looked really good. I mean, they worked really well together. It was a short match. They didn't kind of blow her up, but at the same time, where does her heat go after this?
probably me personally, I probably get some heat from this, but you could took that match off the card and put like Penta and LA Knight against each other or some type of match where they're involved in for a number one contender spot or something. And I would have been fine with that because it first of all, that match had no heat on it. Absolute none. Um,
It
Tiffany's
never
the
did.
champ.
It never did from jump.
Yeah, Tiffany's the champ, and Jade is the queen of the ring, so she get an automatic title match. Cool, bet, whatever. But it wasn't like they had any directions like, yo, I'm coming for that title. I'm the new face of the SmackDown women's brand, blah, blah, blah. It was just like, you know, oh yeah, I got a match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Jade's heat is still with Naomi.
And it's still, and that's the thing, like
Yeah, I mean,
it's
forget the
still
title. Her heat is still with Naomi.
her feet is still with Naomi. And Naomi was just left that show and went to another show. So it's like, I mean, y'all should have just and then Bianca is still in the background, like and I hate the fact that her injury has like kind of shifted things, but you're only your only saving grace is now like Jay has to be a heel. I mean, she has to be a heel. She has to I guess run it back with Tiff, but like what are and for Tiffany to be undefeated, it's not mind blowing, but at the same time, like I think about the matches she's had this year and you know, fighting Nia Jax. No disrespect, Nia Jax. I get it, but it's just I don't know. I'm just lost for words with it because it's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it's cool, but it's so much heat outside of that women's title, and it's mind blowing because all the women want to be champion, but it's like more eyes are on the world title over Raw than it is on SmackDown, to be honest.
but you've got all of the heat with the tag team division on SmackDown.
And that too.
Yeah,
So it's like it's and then like, you know, we leave SmackDown, or we leave SummerSlam, right? And we're more excited for the possibility now of Naomi fighting Stephanie, and Tiffany, she don't have an opponent. And quite frankly, it's like if it ain't Bianca, then what's the point?
yeah, because you have no heat left with Nate with Jade Cargill.
Oh, Unless she just automatically just snaps and becomes a heel and beat the holy crap out of Tiffany to the point where now y'all starting that you started what you should have started with them when she won the Queen of the Ring. Instead of just like, okay, yeah, she won the Queen of the Ring, she gonna fight Tiffany. Y'all never have an interaction with each other other than like maybe once. And y'all, I guess they tag at SmackDown before.
Yeah,
So it's just like
yeah, no, I mean, make it make sense.
you make it make sense.
Make it
It's a sloppy
make
mess
it
with
make
that.
sense. Yeah,
It's a sloppy
yeah,
mess.
yeah. Because um, I feel like Jade needs to be a heel anyway. I mean, I feel like Jade, Jade, when she was with AEW, she was a nasty heel at times.
Yes.
But I feel like that could kind of help her kind of cover up the limitations that she has as a worker so far.
Absolutely. And it gives her more credibility because like a specimen as Jade, she can
Right.
be a heel and it's way more believable. Like, okay, yeah, you ain't really nothing to F with because you
Right.
are phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I mean, somebody that has a physique like that has a look like that, she needs to be a heel.
yes.
Yeah. Like I've never understood that. Now, we got to talk about Jelly Roll. Let's put just briefly.
Yeah.
Um, that match was a hot mess, but I think it kind of did the job because it's still like because Jelly Roll's definitely going to be coming back. Number one, he's definitely going to be coming back to WWE. Number two is that it still gives you some heat with Logan Paul.
I mean, besides him being
What it's
Logan
worth.
Paul outside
I
of that,
mean, yeah, aside from you know everybody and his brother wanting to take a steel chair to his dome, but I think my biggest complaint about that is that, and I know kayfabe is dead,
yeah.
but could they have at least had Jelly Roll when they got a shot of him on Sunday night? Have some bumps and bruises on his face, like walking with crutches. I mean, he that bump that he took to the announce table when Logan Paul dropped that whatever you know
Wrong flesh.
time smasher or whatever it was on him.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
It was. Um
I mean,
I'm a-
kudos to Mr. Roll.
Absolutely. Uh, like Triple H said, he gained my respect because he definitely took some bumps in that match. I mean, and let's face it, obviously we don't like too many celebrity matches or anything like that, but to do what you do outside of wrestling and then decide like, hey, I wanna get involved with that. Who in their right mind as a musician or actor or whatever the case may be want to get in a ring with these behemoths and take a beating? Like at the end of the day, some people may say kayfabe is dead, but that R word, real, is never dead because
No.
they are taking bumps. That mat in the ring, that is not a mat. It is actual wood. They are landing on wood. Outside is very thin padding.
Yeah,
So when they're getting
it's like a
flipped,
yoga mat.
yeah, it's like a yoga mat. So when they're getting flipped and dipped and draped on their backs or head or whatever, yeah, they're actually splatting on that mat, and we're hearing it. And that table, that jelly roll, that it exploded.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't really take. the blunt of the table, but he took the blunt of Logan Paul going 20 feet in the air and coming straight down on his chest and stomach area. So, and like you said, he probably has some padding in that, you know. But
I joked that Jelly Roll was wearing like a catcher's chest protector under his jacket.
he needed it because I mean, man. But kudos to him for going out there and performing with them guys. And um, to say I'm looking forward to it continuing, no. But if it does, obviously it's going to lead to him and Logan Paul probably having a one-on-one match. I see.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm ready for my boy Randy to get a title match. I'm ready for Randy to get 15. Like that's probably the best thing we probably could go with going into Clash of Titan. Excuse me, Clash at the Castle.
yeah.
Maybe Randy getting 15 off of Cody, but I doubt
I
it.
wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
Wouldn't hate it at all. Now, I mean, I wouldn't hate Randy kind of like showing that other side, like, hey, last time you beat me, but I took it easy on you because I kind of pointed at your head, but you know, the voices in my head was kind of stopping me. So
Right. Right. And they counsel him, they understand.
yeah.
So yeah. Anything else on night one before we go over the night two?
Once again, we're gonna tap back on the roots of the century. Um,
Yeah, Michael Cole, come on, ruse of the century. I don't
yeah,
know what was he fed that line or did he come up with it? I
I
mean,
feel like
I
he was
rolled my eyes hard when he said that.
I was like, okay, yeah. Could have make it out, I guess, but the people that actually pay attention to stuff know.
Yeah.
And let's just say that this rivalry has just hit the stratosphere with him and CM Punk. Like, we're definitely getting them one on one at WrestleMania. I can see it.
I can definitely see that because I mean, I think it was you that said that this has become like the HBK Bret Hart, the Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage of our time.
I'm talking about bad blood, the teeth.
Right.
Like, like me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, those two legit don't like each other.
All right.
Yeah.
But it makes good money. Like they're putting their differences to the side and making some good storyline telling with them two.
Yeah,
So
make it, I mean, it's like CM Punk said on his first night back. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
yeah, he definitely doing that.
No, please. He's probably making more money than he ever has in his career at this point.
Yeah, especially with the old man out of the way.
Yeah,
So
facts. Uh, all right. So night two, we just got done watching night two. Um, first of all, your match of the night. I gotta go with that TLC match. That TLC match that 900 team absolute train wreck of a match, train wreck in a good way. Um, that was bonkers. That match was absolutely bonkers. Now some of the interference spots hit a little sideways for me. However, shout out Candice LeRae for taking that bump where she just split that ladder right in half.
yes,
I
yes.
mean, I mean, Johnny Gargano needs to buy that woman flowers after that spot.
Uh Montez face pretty much represents everybody in America that watches wrestling because it was just I knew it was coming. Like, far as like this, something's not going to end well because nothing ends well in a TLC match. But to see a woman go through a table involving men in a match is like, it's a different aspect because it's different when it's just all women in the match. But like when it's men and then like, it just reminds me of some Dudley clip of Bubba Ray power bombing somebody through a table or something, like so
I
they have
mean,
that glazed look in his eyes.
yeah, I mean, and let's face facts. Candice LeRae is a tiny woman,
Yes. Yes.
and she took that like a champ.
Yes.
Yeah.
and she's definitely going to need some assistance from her husband in the
Yeah.
next couple of days to get that bruise.
Yeah. It's like I said in the group chat, all the ice baths at this point.
All of them. Yeah, everybody gonna need an ice pack. I mean, the amount of chairs that was being thrown, the amount of people that was like receiving flips from people outside of the ring and going through tables and chairs and ladders, and it was a beautiful executed train wreck.
It was a glorious train wreck, and
Very
absolutely
glorious.
was. Um, my favorite moment of the night was, I forget who it was that was on top of that ladder. No, it was Champa who was climbing up to the top of the ladder.
Ah,
They kicked the ladder out from under him.
and he pulls himself up.
No, and he pulls himself up, and Nathan Frazier climbs up to the top rope, and I'm thinking, are they really going to try to do the edge spear spot?
And Spear.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm thinking, oh my God, are they really going to do this? And then when he pulls himself up, and Nathan, I mean, that was kind of a cool kind of misdirection spot.
it was. It was definitely something we haven't seen ever in a TLC match. And to my boy, um, Montez Ford, like to get what he did, like I guess they threw him into like the table or ladder, and he misdirected and just flipped out of the ring on two people. Like, come on, man! Like this man needs to be in a singles stunt or something.
I've been saying it for a year. Montez Ford is like Eddie Guerrero if Eddie Guerrero was 6'5". That man is just an incredible athlete,
I'm talking
and they
about
need
got
it,
jetpacks for legs.
right.
It's
Just an incredible talent.
he throws his body like no remorse. Like I'm doing it whatever the case to get a point out of folks.
I mean, to have a man that size be able to deliver a frog splash as cleanly as he does.
And shout out to Dawkins. I mean, to a Spanish fly on a table, like my God, it was crazy. Like you said, it's definitely the match of the night. But I definitely got to give a shout out once again. I mean, I don't know how often the ladies have to hear it, but that triple threat
Oh
start the
yeah.
night off. It was glorious. It was definitely, it's the storytelling of Rhea never winning at SummerSlam, and she still had beat Io Sky, and like how you the face of the women division, but you don't have the title or the win at SummerSlam. Shout out to Wade for that mention. And just Naomi. I mean, her heel run has definitely need to be examined and like maybe a little bit, because to go from the glow to, you know, obviously we knew she was going to be the one that pushed Jade, but like, did she or didn't she? And then to turn and be kind of like this psychotic, um, final fatal attraction type heel, where, like she's doing
That's a
it for
good comp.
Bianca.
Yeah. Good comp. Yeah.
Bianca, like, I'm your friend, like I did this for us, like da da da. And then Bianca basically, like, I mean, anybody would be like Bianca, like, no, I'm not associating myself with you after you didn't lie to me and this and that. And then turn around and like, you have this rivalry with Jade, and then you lose, but did you lose and turn around and win the title and go to another show? It's just like I'm loving it. And then, shout out to her dad. Like I didn't know her dad was a guitarist, and he's the one playing your music when you come out. I mean, you had no choice. You didn't win that night. So
Yeah. No. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Naomi one of Brodus Clay's Funkadactyls?
yes, Absolutely. She
To
was
go
one of the fun dudes.
to go from being a backup dancer to a dancing dinosaur to this generational heel run that she's on, you got to put that in wrestling school textbooks, man. I mean, her work over the past few months has been chef's kiss.
And not only that, but to go from that to being, Naomi with the glow and all that, leave WWE, reinvent herself in the Indies, and come back and be even stronger than ever. That's crazy.
And absolutely insane. Yeah. No, I definitely got to say she's probably female superstar of the year so far.
Yeah, yeah. Without shadow of a doubt. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously it's gonna be Rhea in the running, Stephanie in the running, who else? I mean, I know they're probably gonna put Tiffany in there, but I mean, you can't go wrong with either Rhea, Naomi, or Stephanie. So
Indeed. Well, on on kind of a side note, this is something that's been kind of bugging me, and I kind of hit on this last week, but something that's been kind of bugging me that I was kind of worried about for tonight, for this show, was how were they going to set up pace this event? Because, let's face it, the night one crowd was just flat as a pancake. Like they had no there was no enthusiasm.
no, there's no energy. Oh,
Night two was a little better. You know, can't go wrong there. But when you I like to when you're booking like kind of a wrestling supercard like this, you got to think of it almost like a rock band putting together a set list for a concert.
no.
You're gonna start hot. You're gonna mix in a few slow songs, a few deep cuts, but you need to play the hits and you need to keep the crowd engaged. And I kind of feel like putting that TLC match night two instead of night one did it no favors. Number one.
No.
Number two is that AJ Styles and Dom, which don't even get me started on how that match unfolded. But putting that right before the main event, kind of in the dead zone, did them no favors at all.
Yeah.
And that was probably my biggest kind of gripe about this whole two-night event was you had some great matches, but the
Yeah.
pacing of it was all wrong.
It was. It really was. Um, some I felt, in my personal opinion, like I felt like the Roman the tag match between them, like granted, it was a good call to start it off, but it needed to be within not started off, but basically like where we had the dead zone in night one. It definitely needed to be right before the main event to get people hyped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously we knew it was gonna be a letdown, but like we've always said, like obviously if you start something off at the beginning of the match, then something towards the end is gonna be catastrophic. You know, like we leave on a high of Roman and Jay winning, right? To start off the night. But then you get to the last match of the night, and CM Punk has went through hell to get that title just to turn around and lose it and have his biggest troll walk out of that arena with that belt. Just like WrestleMania. We had one of the biggest babyface and Jay win the belt. So we like, hype. Oh yeah, yeah. We get to the main event of the triple threat, and the wise man turns into an order. He screws Roman out of that out of that match.
I feel like Triple H has a type. You know, I feel like Triple H has a type when he's booking these kind of shows. And I'm not a Triple H hater. I think that the way what he has done to kind of bring WWE out of the doldrums that was like 2019 to about 2020, like late 2021,
Yeah.
right before the old man scandal really started to break. Um, he's done I feel like for the most part, he's done a really good job. But that feels like it's his like the pacing of the shows feel a little bit off to me. The ways that like one of the things that Vince was good at, I'll give him his flowers here, was he liked a lot of times to leave the fans with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
The big baby face winning in the end of WrestleMania, right?
Or the shock back
Or, or,
value,
or
right?
yeah, or the shock value with Seth Rollins doing the heist of the century at WrestleMania 31 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Um, but the way that the main event of night one ended, and again, my that was my match of the night. CM Punk and Gunther, I thought I thought they worked just a great kind of stiff style.
I love it.
Um,
Yeah.
but the way that that ended, and I'm not just saying this because Seth Rollins is a heel and he cost my guy CM Punk the title. I'm saying this because it left me flat and not like like a holy crap, this just happened kind of flat. I'm talking about it just left me kind of emotionally flat. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because one wanna feel like if they would have played it out differently, like have Steph Goonies come out, right? And and Carl Heyman has the briefcase, right? Now pull a ruse far as like Braun is going to use the cash in, right? And then maybe Paul like, hey, what you doing? Whoa, whoa, what are you doing? We still following the plan. What are you doing? Like that, right? And then Seth Rollins is kid. And he's coming out limping all the way to the ring. You know, he gets in, still playing that fib, like he's about to just pin CM Punk. And then he's just like, no, no, no. I want to finish him. And we like, what? And he takes that knee brace off and then stomp him. Then, but the whole build up to like, oh, I still got a year, blah, blah, blah. And then he turns around and just does like that. It's like, oh, okay, you see, I see that coming.
We all did.
Yeah. But and then also it would have made it would have made more sense if the Goonies came out and beat the holy crap out of CM Punk after he's already got his tail whooped by the dancer. Right?
Right.
And then Breaker comes out, spears the holy crap. Well, I think he might have tweaked his knee a little bit, so he kind of couldn't do much. But
Yep.
even Bronson Reed, you could came out and tsunami them or something.
Right.
But at the same time, they did what they did. But like you said, the pricing of Triple H's PLEs have been kind of, and I think this is the case. Like as when we started this pod, I know people are like, hey, they go with the MCU comparison and stuff like that. But when you come off of something like the Bloodline saga, right? That's the coup de grace. That's the phase 1 through 4, right? That's the big bang. That's the end game of what they was going through. When you come off of that, it's kind of hard to like capture that magic again.
Exactly.
And I think with John, which I still gotta watch Unreal, but with John announcing he's retiring, right? And then certain injuries kind of turned the trajectory of certain things because, like, with Liv getting hurt and with um Kevin Owens getting hurt and all these superstars, it throws a wrench in certain storylines. So it's kind of like you have to mop up the mess and try to get things back on track or take an alternate route, and it's not hitting the same as it once was.
That's the thing because like you know like another like I know you Star Wars comparisons a lot. Like that the like the original kind of OG Bloodline saga was like the original trilogy, you
Yeah.
know? It was like the original trilogy. You could also compare it to The Godfather. You can compare it to the Corleone family. Um but like how it stands now, I feel like they need to do like like a control alt delete on this whole thing because Roman Reigns isn't around as much anymore. Like he's going to be leaving for a few more months to go shoot a movie. And he's winding down his in-ring career anyway. Um, you know, Cody Rhodes is about to go shoot a movie.
Right, right.
Um, Gunther's about to go, about to have surgery. He's going to be on
Oh,
the show for a little bit.
here's my biggest gripe. It's too many factions.
Yeah.
It is entirely too many factions.
I
We
mean,
don't have
just
enough. We don't have enough legitimate heels, and the superstars that we do have, the top stars, or they're getting hurt.
yeah. Or getting
So it's
older.
kind, yeah, or getting older, or got movies, or it's just it's a lot.
Right.
So it's like, who is going to step up? It's kind of like in that weird era of ruthless aggression, like certain stars are getting older, certain stars are about to leave, and now it's like, who is going to take that brass ring and run for the next decade and take which they're already setting up the stars. We got the Jacobs and we got, Rhea still carrying the torch, and like, obviously they're trying to get Braun Breaker to be the next guy. Now
Braun
this,
Breaker, Bronson Reed. Yeah.
yeah, we got all these stars, but it's just like you got the guys in factions, and then like you're still holding on to stuff that needs to, you know, die. Like Judgment Day. That should
Thank
have been dead.
thank you. Yeah. You know,
And then my guy Fan, like Fan needs to be something. Like he was something when he was just on his own. I'm still gonna call it to this day. We need a Bullet Club thing. Like Cody got the belt now. So we need AJ Styles and Cody and Finn like going back and forth about who really started that band, or who was the first leader of that band.
just write a check and buy the intellectual property for crying out loud.
I'm I must be screaming it
Thank you.
to the top of my lungs. I'm gonna be every episode, not every episode, but every other episode, at least I'm gonna say I want Finn, Cody, AJ. Bring up their group. If you got to sprinkle in Tomatonga, you got to sprinkle in the Tongas, whatever the case may be. But we needs to have that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. As you were explaining that, like too many factions, like if they're not careful, if Triple H and the creative staff are not careful, they could really turn this into NWO 2.0 because when NWO was at the hottest, it was just the core four guys: Hogan, Hall, Nash, and Six X Pac.
Yeah.
but then you started expanding it, and you've got 20 guys in the ring at one time, and then
They
you're
made like
splitting it, and then you're splitting it off into NWO Black and White, Wolfpack,
yeah,
um, LWO at this point, One Warrior Nation or whatever the heck that was. Um, but you're but when wrestling starts to rely too heavily on factions instead of just like maybe one or two like
solid ones.
super strong factions, like this thing that Seth Rollins has going on, it had potential. And if my theory about what plan B is all about, it could be really big. But right now it's just kind of, flapping around like a fish out of water.
You got too many side quests going on besides like what's the main ingredient of both shows. Um, and also it's kind of top heavy on Raw versus SmackDown. Like you got Cody, but now you got Jay on the Raw. You got, I mean, you got everybody on Raw basically. And as much as we both love Jacob, I mean, he's stuck in that parallel with Solo, and it's like the MFTs, and they're like, okay, what is y'all doing with that? Like MFT versus Big Jim and Jacob, and then 2 on 4, and some nights they whooping 4 guys with on 2 dudes, and it's like, come on, man, like what is going on with it?
Keep it super simple.
Yes,
Keep it super simple. KISS. And I feel like they're kind of getting away from that a little bit. Um, Wrestling fans are smart nowadays. I'm not saying that, but I mean, look at the two of us. But my point is that you've got just like too much kind of gang warfare, and nobody knows who to cheer for. Nobody really knows who to boo anymore. Like we when the bloodline was at their hottest, we knew to boo them, but we also knew they were the baddest 4 guys in the business.
and they ramshacked the entire show. Like the one episode, well, I was just going around beating the holy crap out of everybody in the arena.
Right. All right. I mean, I compared them when they were at their peak. I compared them to like prime 4 horsemen.
Yes. And then the
Um,
fact like when they had to be on the show, it was just them three, but you know when them three showed up, it was gonna be trouble with Paul. Like Paul was basically the mouthpiece for Roman. So it's like, okay, Roman's not around, but what are they up to? But then when you started seeing the little breaks in the group, then it's like, okay, stuff getting juicy. So it's like this is what it need to be in my mind. It needs to be some type of faction like that, which is Seth now currently. Okay. Now, second tier, it's not the Judgment Day. Like we need to just go on and flick them out the way. Just get them out of the picture.
Send them to the upper
Um,
room.
yes, it needs to be MFT. Okay,
Yeah.
because Solo is the dude. So then we get the third tier, but which like with those 2 tiers, you still got the rivals, right? So obviously number uno is Seth, CM Punk, Roman, Jay, because Jay used to have the world title or whatever. So boom.
Mhm.
But then like I'm naming all this, right? And they're all on Raw. The big tier one is all on Raw. So then you get the MFT, that's the second tier. But you got the biggest babyface, one of the biggest babyfaces on SmackDown. But you got a second tier faction. So now the power dynamic is kind of loose.
Yeah, there's
And you pointed this out. We talked about it yesterday. You was like, they need a draft. Like we need a draft bad.
Bad. Yes.
Like we needed a draft way back in 2024 to make sense of things.
Yeah, no, they need to mix this up because you've got. I mean, again, we don't know who to cheer for. We don't know who to boo. We don't know who to hate. I mean, who got the biggest babyface pop the entire night on Sunday night? John Cena,
John
a
Cena.
heel.
Him. Well, or back
Well,
to
well,
original
for,
babyface now.
formerly a heel, but
Yeah, formerly him.
my point is that we don't know who to pull for. We don't know who to hate. Um, and there's just too many groups. There's just way too many groups.
It's too many. Yes, it's too many.
Because if they're gonna do like a gang warfare kind of thing, or like a war games kind of thing, coming up for Survivor Series in a few months, I mean, yeah, you can do MFTs against a ragtag bunch like Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jay and Jimmy.
But
But
see, the
didn't we
biggest,
do that? But didn't we do that last year?
yeah, but see, that's the thing. The biggest factor is self and his Goonies, and then like whoever the next two gonna be. But okay, with that, then you got to put CM Punk, Roman, Jay, and two other folks. LA Knight, and possibly Cody, possibly Penta, somebody, but it got to be if it's Seth, it got to be CM Punk. Them two.
Yeah,
And then you got Roman. Because we ain't gonna see Roman until Survivor Series, obviously, because
right.
rumors are out that, he did his duties for SummerSlam. Now he gonna take a break until November. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's going to a movie set.
yeah. And then that's the thing. Like it's like I respect Roman. He deserves he's put in the work, so he deserves that
Yeah,
schedule. But now you take that big ticket out of the equation, and it kind of just it kills it a little bit, kills the momentum, it kills the because when he came back, it was like a shift. It was like everybody's hyped for SummerSlam. I can't wait to SummerSlam. This, that, and third. Oh, he coming back to, avenge some of these receipts he's been getting from folks. Okay, he took out the Goonies and now he's gone again. Like Seth is still on top. Seth got the belt, and the main person that you hate is Seth, and you allowed him to win the belt. That was my biggest gripe of the night. Like, get the roost, whatever the case. But if I'm if I'm Roman and I'm there that night, I got to win on your boys, right? I'm watching that match, and you come out with that briefcase. I'm coming to get my pound of flesh on you because you and that you know goonie of yours, Oracle, y'all took something from me. Y'all are the one. Well, not all, but Seth, you're the main reason why I don't have a title at all.
yeah.
So I'm not going to allow you to get your title back.
And then meanwhile, CM Punk was just standing there like a deer in headlights.
Right. Come beat the hell
The
out of him.
logic, the logic just blows my mind.
Why did I do that?
I don't get it. I really don't get it. Oh,
But well, now we're on the road to Paris.
we're on the road to the clash in Paris, and I think before we wrap up here, I think about the only match that we know for sure is what Naomi and Stephanie Vaquera.
Yep, yep. But that's gonna be nice.
That's
That is
gonna be a
gonna
really
be
good match. Yeah, it's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a
a really good match.
yeah. And of course, one of these days, we're gonna review WWE Unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I
This
I
week,
have
this,
I have seen all 5 episodes. I want more.
yeah. Ah, to be honest, I think next episode we probably will review because I will definitely. I watched some of episode one. I just didn't finish it, and I had a lot going on this weekend. But I am definitely watching it this week, and we will have some words about it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know we've got, something we're both looking forward to is there's a great book that's coming out here in I think a matter of a couple of months, a book about the life and times of the great Gorilla Monsoon, which I know we're, looking forward to talking about.
yeah, oh, for real.
Yep. Same time next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my brother. Well, it's been another episode of the Wrasslin Roundtable podcast, presentation of Royal Hearts Media. For more information about this podcast or about me, just hit up royalheartsmedia.com. Website under construction, by the way. So, be on the lookout for that. I'm going to hold myself accountable to that. If you, you can follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places you can find podcasts. Follow us on Facebook. We both post there. We both share information there about the podcast. And until next time, for Dom, I'm Ryan. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And until we eat again, take care.